Hey friends, welcome to the Taste Toast Travel Podcast. We're your hosts and resident foodies, Epicureans, and lovers of all things travel and exploration.
I'm John, and I'm a certified somm and a certified specialist of wine, and I've worked in the wine and hospitality industry for over 10 years.
I'm Tara, and I've worked in the wine industry for over 7 years, both in hospitality and digital marketing.
When my wife and I first met, we bonded over our love of eating, drinking, and traveling the world. That passion has only grown over time. Now we want to share this passion with you from an insider perspective. We're only scratching the surface here, and we have a lot more in store that we can't wait to share with you all. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and enjoy the journey with us. Cheers.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Taste Toast Travel. I'm Tara.
And I'm John.
And today we are back with another fun little variety of topics for you guys today. Lots of headlines in the food, drink, and travel industry, which we love. That's why we're here.
Thing, yes.
Excited to dig into it.
Yes.
So yeah, let's just dig right into it. We got a nice little Anderson Valley Pinot that we're...
Grab your shovel.
Oh my God. You and your dad jokes. All right. Well, I feel like we definitely need to start this conversation because we haven't talked about this yet on the podcast. A little bit of an elephant in the room of the world at the moment.
Oh, which one? Tariffs. Whoa.
Do you want to kick this one off?
Sure, let's kick. Yeah, not
where to start, really. And also, I want to make this like not a political conversation so much as it is. It's just interesting working in the alcohol industry, which has already been severely affected by just life in general, wine industry especially.
Just alcohol, is down, and then it's like, kicking a dead horse,
I think you're mixing up two expressions. Kicking a dog when it's down, right? Or you're kicking something when it's down, but you're beating a dead horse is like talking about the same thing.
Yes. The shoe is on the other table, which is turned. That whole situation. Yeah. I think that's what happened.
That's not it
anyway.
Either, but let's just mix up a bunch of
they,
expressions.
it's like, the alcohol industry is already in the dumps, as they say.
Were you gonna say like in the shitter or something?
Yeah, it's gonna be the dumps.
So elevated.
But
yeah, no,
so it's like
good.
the alcohol industry is already in the dumps, and then you have the tariffs that are kind of can not yet, but have the potential to really affect importers, distributors,
it's
all kinds of stuff.
From what I'm reading,
but not as much as it could be.
I guess. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an interesting dilemma because, Canada is a big buyer.
I was going to touch on Canada
or of our wines, right?
What was I saying earlier? I was reading something. It was like $1.1 billion.
Yeah, we export so much wine to Canada, and they've basically boycotted American alcohol in general. So there's no alcohol allowed in any stores from the United States in Canada. So it's like it's a thing. And I mean, I've talked to people from Canada that have visited recently as recently as like a week, right?
Yeah.
And they're so goddamn pissed off at the United States. It's hilarious. It's like, I don't know why you're mad. Like, I have no control, but they're like taking it out on me. Like, I'm like, leave me alone. Like, I'm sorry. Do you want to buy wine or not? Jesus.
Are you buying a bottle and are you tipping?
If you're going to buy wine, like, come on.
Shit, or get off the pot.
But yeah, they're like, well, yeah, we were trying to.
Yeah, this was funny when you came home.
We were trying to cancel our trip to the United States because we're trying to boycott America. But like things have been paid for already, so like we just came and we got here and it's lovely and we love it, and it's just we hate it so much.
Mad at you
I was
guys.
like, oh my God, okay, that's a lot of emotions.
I don't blame them. I mean, listen, I don't want to get super into that.
So,
but
yeah, I mean the tariff situation isn't ideal, honestly, and it's hurting things, and small producers probably feel it the most.
Absolutely.
Because the big ones, have the kind of like backbone, the money, to like handle the dilemma.
More or less, but even they're struggling and suffering.
I read some stories. I've talked to other importers like that have visited, and it's interesting talking to some people about it, because some people are kind of okay with what's happening, and some people are like, this is an outrage.
Yeah.
The people that are okay with it, I've talked to people from Europe about import. They were, exporters in Europe, exporting wine to the United States, and they're like, honestly, right now, in the past, we have faced worse tariffs, if you will, because the euro versus dollar rate.
Right.
So the exchange rate is essentially a tariff without being a tariff. So if you just kind of treat it like it's an extra cost that you have to deal with.
Yeah. But so then like who bears the brunt of that?
Well, so so there was a time when there was a 0.30 exchange rate difference.
Okay.
So that was essentially making it a 30% tariff for wines getting exported from Europe.
Okay.
So this was as early as like the 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah.
And so they were like, yeah, we were dealing with the exchange rate, which was essentially a 30% exchange rate, dollar to euro or whatever, euro to dollar.
It's not inexpensive.
And so they're like, yeah, I mean, we were still exporting wine to the United States, and it was everyone, we made it through most all the other ones. They were just dealing with it. That was just the way it was. You couldn't change the exchange rate,
Right.
And so that's that was 30%, give or take, right?
Okay.
So the wine industry has gone through situations like this.
Okay.
Without it being like a tariff.
Actual tariff.
Yeah. So it was an interesting thing to like hear someone talk about. I was like, oh, I never actually.
It's an interesting perspective.
I never really thought about it from that perspective. But yeah, I mean, even right now, the U.S. dollar to euro, I mean, it's.
Is it low right now? Last I heard it was low, but that was how relevant.
It was lower 6 months ago.
That's what I thought. Yeah. When we were there, which was
I think it's
about 6 months ago now.
I think it's 1.13.
Okay.
So
like third.
Or maybe something like that. So I think you lose like 15 cents per euro essentially. So 1 euro is 75 cents or something like that.
Okay.
Or 85 cents.
Yeah. Interesting way to look at it. Yeah. I didn't think of it that way. But I mean, so here's the thing. So, a lot of these articles I'm reading, it's like, a minimum 10% tariff. But I'm reading, I'm trying to remember exactly what article this was now, but it was saying that, oh no, here it goes. And I don't know if this is like super, super official. I think it is. It's not saying like allegedly, but basically it would be 10% for New Zealand, 20% for Italy, France, and Spain, 30% for South Africa.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and beginning April 9th, several nations will be hit. Like, this is from Wine Spectator, by the way.
They seem very, like, random. Like, you get 30%, you get 10, you get 20.
Yeah,
like, I don't understand why South Africa gets 30%.
Yeah, I don't know how that's determined. Sure. New Zealand, Chile, Australia, Argentina all face 10% tariffs. Yeah. How are the tariffs calculated? Oh, this is like a whole thing. Okay, I will put the link to what I'm looking at right now in the show notes. Basically, somewhat conflicting goals for the tariff. Short term, they hope the duties will force other countries to enter negotiate. Wait, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I understand like the.
Oh, here we go.
Reasoning.
So basically, first, all nations face a baseline 10% rate. Even nations like Brazil, which actually imports more from the U.S. than it exports to the U.S. And the uninhabited Heard Island, never even heard of that, which exports nothing to America. Then White House officials divided America's trade deficit with each country by the total of that country's exports to the U.S. The percentage was then halved. Oh my God. Okay. Thus, China faces tariffs of 34%, so Vietnam 46%, and the EU 20%. The idea is that if a nation has a trade surplus with the U.S., it must be due to unfair trade practices.
Yeah,
so that's an interesting.
I understand like the reasoning behind it. They're just like, it's not a fair trade, right? It's called trading, right? And it's not a fair trade. They're like, we're sending, or you're sending all of this stuff to us, and you don't accept anything from us. Like, why is that fair?
On paper, understand. I get that 100%, but
I understand, but at the same time, it's like
people are getting screwed in the process.
Yeah.
So I mean, now it's just being.
And then there's experts that are saying too, like the whole Canada situation. They're saying like if the tariffs to Canada are, like stopped now, there's like bang stopped. They said that like it wouldn't get better for like a year.
I was just reading that too.
Essentially, because like there's probably so much propaganda in Canada that are like, Americans suck, we hate you.
It's just like now it's like in the
now
mindset
you're just
of
like and now it's like ingrained in society, and it's gonna be like, oh, Americans suck, they're selfish, we hate Americans, right?
Yeah.
So kind of like I get it.
I know we're just lumped in with Trump, basically.
Yeah, it's so funny. Canadians come in. What are you doing what are you doing? I'm like, I don't do anything.
I just live here.
I'm just trying to sell you when you buy wine. No.
You're just like, so you're not taking anything home with you.
Yeah, this is a Pinot.
Nice. Carneros Pinot, and here you go. Yeah, it's just so I think that's like a lot of it too. Of course, it sounds like some of the things I was reading, like the importer typically, I think would bear the brunt of that, but like.
Well, I mean, it's a trickle-down effect.
But it trickle. Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Yeah.
When it's expensive for one party, that expense gets trickled down to us, the consumer, where you're buying wine and you're paying part of that cost. So
So I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be and of course we're not talking about any other industries in this moment, but of course it's more than just the wine industry or just alcohol in general. That's going to feel that. But it's just rough in here, guys, because like, oh my God, as if wine was not, like we said earlier, struggling enough, and just people being sober curious, or just not drinking as much. Gen Z's
boring,
like just influence on it all.
Have a drink.
Yep.
God,
you're like, for the love of God,
just have a drink instead of being fucking so tight. You're just so uptight all the time.
Gosh, people wanting to be healthy. How dare they?
Drink.
Okay, anyway. So this is the tangent that just went off on that. Okay. To bring this back, actually, one of the things I actually wanted to talk about was something food related. So
I like food.
Kind of a rough segue, but here we go.
I eat mostly every day.
So I wanted to talk about, and I really want to hear from listeners on this one. I am so curious to hear this is kind of like when we brought up parking etiquette on one of our other recent episodes.
Yes.
I want to talk about etiquette for sharing appetizers and or dishes at lunches, breakfast, dinners, whatever. Yeah. And I want to talk about this because
God, people are so annoying.
I have been burned, you guys, burned by this so many, as I would imagine so many other people have. But there's
I want to start.
Okay, can I say one more thing?
Okay.
One thing really quick, and then I want you to go. I feel like there's some gray area, there's some in between here, but I feel like there's like two types of people at restaurants. There's people that like love to share and are super open to sharing and kind of don't worry about it, and then there's people that are like, no, I
ordered this, it's mine.
Yes. Yeah. And are almost a little bit territorial. And it's so funny because I think of my dad, because my mom,
she's like, oh, let me try that.
She was always kind of like, oh, let me get a fry. Oh, let me get another fry, or whatever. He's like,
order
Lori,
your own fries.
I will buy you your own. Like,
but I don't want
my own.
I just want like 17 of yours.
And I kind of do that too a little bit with you. But this is like,
no,
this is broader. This is if you are going out, maybe not even just so much with family, but like in a group of friends, or maybe there are even people you're maybe not as familiar with or as comfortable with or whatever. How these things, what's the etiquette here? How does this get split up? Do we make everyone pay evenly, even if things were not evenly consumed? Go.
So I have two stories.
Okay.
One story is you go to a restaurant, Let's call it a Mexican restaurant. Going to
just not even a specific one.
Yeah, at a Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
What does a Mexican restaurant bring you?
Chips and salsa. Typically.
Chips and salsa on the table.
Okay.
And we're all just like
often pay for that.
No, there's some that just bring you chips and salsa.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get to the restaurant, you sit down, they bring you their house-made chips and some salsa or whatever, right?
Okay.
Like, great, groovy. Eating some chips and salsa.
Groovy. And so, what are you, 65
And
years
so
old?
one person in the group takes it upon themselves.
I know who you're talking
to grab the thing of salt and just fucking douse the chips in salt. The chips that are
already salted.
Yeah, that are already salted.
Haven't been tasted yet.
Yeah. They
for
are
their saltiness level.
Community chips. And they're just salting them. And you're just like, fella, I didn't want salt on my chips.
More than I already had,
so
I have a sodium level that I need to keep below for the day.
So it's like, what do you, like, this is for everyone. Why are you taking it
upon yourself
to oversalt these chips?
Always ask.
What if I didn't want salt? And like, well, you get your own chips. What do you mean get my own chips? Don't salt the table's chips.
Yeah. Or just
salt anything that you're sharing.
Sauces, dressings, even maybe. I mean, it just goes for anything that's community property.
And it was just so asinine. I was just like, what are you doing? Just like, it was incredibly rude.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And so like that isn't cool. And I feel like 10 out of 10 people would be like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Well, no, apparently 9 out of 10 because this individual did that.
No, that's why it's so preposterous, because 10 out of 10 people would be like, oh no.
These are very official stats we're sharing here, obviously. Yeah.
First example. Second example.
Okay.
Out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which restaurant. I can't remember, but I remember the incident.
We don't remember what type of food it was. Right?
No. Oh, okay. P.F. Chang's. It was a P.F. Chang's.
Okay. I don't think I was here with you on this one.
This was a while ago. Long time ago. P.F. Chang's.
God.
Bunch of people. 8, 9 people. 11 a.m. One woman.
Oh.
Decides to order 4 martinis at 11 a.m.
At a P.F. Chang's.
$20 a pop.
What?
Yeah. What do you mean?
They were $20 at...
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So, they were probably like 15.
I was going to say at a P.F. Chang's. Anyway.
$12 to $15. Whatever. She orders 4 martinis at 11 a.m. for I guess we call it brunch.
Sure.
And then proceed to split the bill with everyone who did not. No one else on the table at 11 a.m.
Yep.
No one else on the table had any alcoholic beverages.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone had a water or maybe an iced tea or like a soda.
Yeah.
And then she's over here
down in her martini,
guzzling martinis to the tune of 4. And then at the end, it's just like, yeah, we're gonna go Dutch on this, and we'll just split it. So everyone at the table is paying for your martinis.
Insanity.
What?
Yeah. No. Mm-mm.
I like. It's like.
It's so wrong.
Yeah, it's hard. It's cringy for me to think about. Like, for me to like do that to like.
If it were
if
the
it
other
was
way
me
around,
and I was like, yeah, I'm having 4 martinis. I'm having, what was that? I mean, that's like 50 to 80,
like let's say they were roughly $15 each.
That's
45, $60.
Yeah, it's like $50 to $60 just in, martinis
alone. Yeah.
First of all, you might need to talk to someone if you have 4 martinis at 11 a.m. But second of all, man, what are you doing making other people pay for? You should be like, I'm gonna go to the bar and order my drinks separately from everyone else, or something like that.
Or in some capacity,
or like
offer
add in
to pay
more,
for that
add like more to your tab. Be like, okay, well, I drank like a fish, so I'm gonna add. I'll cover tip on this
right,
bill
that's
or something
another
like
good
that, which is fine. Like you pay your way, but like instead you make everyone pay.
Yeah.
For your cocktails that you had to have for some weird reason, and like. It's just preposterous to me that like anyone would ever do that. Like what in what world is that like
the lack
kosher?
of awareness?
Like I don't understand.
I also have a story. you've heard this story.
Ooh.
And I won't go into too much detail, just in case. So basically, it was I'll just say it was a girls' dinner.
Oh, yes, I know this one.
And let's just say the occasion was around something celebrating me. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't expect to be paid for, actually, in this particular case. It would have been nice. The circumstances they'd already, for me, I'm also so weird about making people pay for everything for me. And it was a small group. They'd already invested a lot in this experience. Okay. I didn't, I was like, okay, I can let this one go. So someone had a appetizer. They didn't finish it, weren't planning on finishing it, whatever, and offers me like a bite. They were like, oh,
I'm not going to finish this. Does anyone want to finish it for me?
Yeah. Exactly. Basically. You want a bite? Yeah. I'm not going to finish it. Whatever. It's just, I ordered this, but like, I'm not going to finish it. You want some? I was like, sure, I'll have a little bite. I literally had one bite.
Were they going to take it with them like in a doggy bag?
Exactly. Or? No, because then we were going to go out to a club after that. So no. So I had a bite because I was like, yeah, sure, looks good. Literally one bite. Bill comes.
What was it?
I can't even remember, to be honest. I almost feel like it was like sort of a pasta type situation. Anyway, I mean, it was good, even though I couldn't tell you what it was. So Bill comes. We're kind of more or less trying to figure everything out. And here's the thing. This is how I do it. I think actually you and I typically do this with our friends. We are not, at least you and I, are not sticklers to the point where we have to get it down to like dollars and cents of who paid for what.
Ballpark it.
Exactly. If we all more or less got the same thing, let's say we each got a drink or we each got 2 drinks or whatever, or split a pitcher or something, I don't know, more or less got the same.
If I all say end up paying $10 more than anyone else, like, I don't care.
Right.
$10, exactly. Like, I can't be bothered to like argue like why this happened.
Exactly.
I don't care.
If someone had like an exorbitantly more expensive dish, then it's like, okay, you're tipping a little bit more, but I'm not gonna
goddamn steak frites or steak and lobster, like obviously, and I had a burger, like, come on, man.
Right.
But like, yeah, but generally $10, I'm like,
generally
whatever,
not gonna
I can't be bothered to argue.
Sleep over it, right? It all kind of evens out, whatever.
I don't care.
This was not that situation. Me and I'll just say other people at this table did not want that particular appetizer. We had said so. We made it clear we weren't going to eat it, whatever. So the bill comes. We're roughly trying to figure it out. And this person was like, oh, well, Tara, you had some of my whatever dish was. So,
like,
however they had worded that, they were like, oh, so do you want to like, you're going to have that with me, right? Again, I wasn't expecting to be paid for, but I certainly was not expecting to be like bamboozled into paying half of something I took a bite of.
That you didn't even want.
That I literally
only had a bite because they were like, I'm going to throw this in the trash if anyone wants to try it.
I could have lived without it. I did not. I literally, had I known. In fact, so normally I've never kind of spoken up on these things unless something about it really is, or I'm close enough to the people to be like, you guys, I didn't even have any of that. No. So in this instance, I did speak up. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. That's not super cool. I literally had a bite.
Didn't even want
I can't even, you're going to have me pay like half of that. I'm like, come on, really? And they, I think kind of looked silly or whatever. Now, granted, again, this is a person that will nickel and dime. Venmo request comes through. It is $63.87. Like, it's that exact. And I'm like, oh, honey, no. Like, can we round up or down or whatever? Like, I am not in the business of nickel and diming people. That's crazy. But that's where I feel like this etiquette comes in, right? If somebody has a bite of something that they never wanted or didn't order, but you offered it, like, that's where I felt like it was so almost like backhanded. I was like, I literally felt like I got tricked into like trying to have me pay for this. I was like, first of all, no. And also just just again, it's like with drinks, with appetizers, with extra entrees, whatever. If someone doesn't have it, just being aware of that. I'm very aware of that at tables because I appreciate it when people are aware of it.
Or
for me too.
here's another one that just
should not be responsible for paying that.
When you go to a restaurant and they order like one of every appetizer, right?
We have people that do that.
Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, we sit down for dinner, like sweet, having some dinner, and then the guy comes by, or the girl, the waitress, waiter, and they're like, hey, any appetizers? Like, yeah, we'll have like this one, this one, this one, and this one.
I was like, I could have gone without 3 out of the 4 of those.
At that point, you're paying for this meal because you just took it upon yourself to charge me money. No, no, no.
No, ma'am, no, sir.
And so it's like,
yeah,
those 4 things you just ordered is like, $100.
That could easily be $100. Yeah, whatever
right
it is.
There, bang. It's like, I didn't want any of that.
Yeah.
I'm just totally fine with the bread that's complimentary.
My chips and salsa.
And I'm gonna
lightly
have my,
salted.
Maybe have something shared with my wife. Mm-hmm. But like, no, you're paying for this meal now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna split those because I didn't want them.
I mean,
I'll have them if they're there, though. Make that
if
clear.
They're offered and you can have a fight without being financially responsible.
I'll have it if it's there. But
oh my god,
it's just like,
it's just being a little real. Again, not the nickel and diming thing. So not, be like reasonable about it. And I would never be that hardcore about it unless it was something I didn't even want, didn't like, would never indulge in. But then like you're somehow stuck with the bill for that. Like that doesn't work out. And nor would I expect anyone to pay for my glass of wine or my specialty drink or an appetizer that I wanted. Like, I'm very aware of that.
It's just, it's difficult, right? It used to be easier because it was all cash, right? There were no credit cards. So everyone's just like,
that's a good point. And and restaurants don't always,
if you had to like
split credit cards 20 million different ways.
Split stuff is like, oh, well, here you
that's
how much cash you got, But now it's like,
cash,
I know there are people out there that are like, here's 7 credit cards. Can you split it?
Oh God!
And if you do that,
I'm embarrassed. In my 20s,
shame on you. Shame on you if you do that. Put it all on one goddamn card, and then like Venmo people for it. Like that is unacceptable to give a waiter or a waitress 7 cards like that.
Yeah,
they have way better things to do than to split a bill 7 ways. Like you are
strong feelings about this working in the
cool.
hospitality industry because you probably especially have to deal with this. Maybe not at length, not as much as
anymore.
Restaurants.
I have in the past.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, restaurants, I'm actually good for them, are cracking down on that. And
like,
we'll even say on the menu, we cannot do 3
or
or 4 max or whatever, depending on the group size.
Like, what is wrong with you? You can't do that.
Well, and thankfully now there's Venmo, there's Apple Pay, there's Splitwise, which I've used for like bachelorette parties and stuff. Is kind of chaotic, but it was helpful, I guess. Or like honestly, what we all, like a lot of our friend groups do is like we have 1, maybe 2 people split it, take a picture of the receipt, everyone calculates it, and like bam,
pay
you're
your
done.
share. Like you put 1 credit card down, and everyone just like Venmos the other person.
Someone gets a lot of points
to someone, and like it's fine. It's just
I know it's gotten so out of hand.
Yeah, I hate.
There's nothing. So moral of the story: don't be that person.
No, please don't.
That orders shit and expects everyone else
to
do it. Like, pay for it or split it evenly or whatever. Unless it is like it all more or less comes out evenly. Like truthfully, like I said, when I said I got burned, I laughed, but like I am not joking. I've gotten so screwed, and it really has, other than like you or certain family members or whatever, but like even there's certain friends that are like very with what we're saying here, but like there are some people I'm covert about it sort of, but I will not split things with them anymore because I've gotten so
it's not that easy on the back end for a lot of times, depending on what like computer system you're working with.
Oh yeah,
like
sure.
It's not that easy sometimes, and it's just like I have other things I can be doing, but you're making me split this on a credit card because you don't either can't or won't just like send your friend some money.
Do the math and figure it out.
Send your friend some money.
Yeah.
Like there's apps for this now.
Well, yeah, my whole point in bringing this up again was more on the, side if you are the person sitting at a dinner, ordering the appetizers, making people pay for, like, oh my God, just don't do it. Don't do it.
I hate it. Oh.
Anyway.
That's a pet peeve.
I digress. I'll get off my soapbox now. And let's segue into some fun travel stuff. Some fun travel headlines that I came across. So this one caught my eye because we did an episode not super long ago about kind of like staying calm while flying specifically, because there's just like 2025 has been a crazy year in terms of like plane incidents, crashes, incidents, near misses, actual misses. Like it's kind of a stressful time to like
they're just
fly.
I think they're just more like,
or maybe it's just we're just hearing about a lot of them.
Yeah,
it's
I think
not
that
like
has to
this
do with
isn't
it
new.
too. Is like you're hearing more about it now. They're like headline news now, where it
well, and a
used to
lot
be
aren't. That's the crazy part.
It's not as
yeah.
Anyway,
so put out a little episode on that, so you guys can go check that one out. Just some tips, tricks, things to do, before you leave, while you're at the airport, while you're on the plane, even getting off the plane, to kind of like calm yourself, right? But I saw this article and it said, if you guys were curious and wondering, this is the top airline for nervous flyers in 2025 with impeccable review and safety ratings. Any guesses on what that is?
Qantas.
I think I might have given this away to you the other day. No, it is not. It is not. Oh, you're just gonna go down the line of.
Was that not right either?
No. So
Delta.
Jesus Lord, no.
Oh yeah, some weird one I never heard of.
No, you've heard of it. So Bounce.com revealed its list of the best airlines for nervous flyers. So really quick, it created this ranking by first looking. This is kind of interesting how they did it. It's random data from Seat Guru, whatever that is, to find the average seat pitch and width of economy seats across all airline types.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, this is deep. It then collected the average airline review score from Skytrax and the safety score from airline ratings. We're not done yet. Next, it surveyed 2,000 UK residents. Interesting. Asking them questions like, are you a nervous flyer? And to rate the importance of things like how friendly a cabin crew is, the meal service, if there are pillows and blankets available, and if it matters, if there are loud people around you. Can't even control, the airline can't control that. That's just the flight you're on. Anyway, okay. After looking at all the data and the survey results, it named...
Nope. Give me the first letter.
S.
Yes.
Think Asia.
Oh, Singapore Air?
Yeah.
Hey,
Singapore Airlines, the most stress-free for all nervous flyers. So it says, Singapore Airlines takes the top spot, and it's easy to see why. With perfect review and safety ratings, alongside an overall stress-free score of 8.94 out of 10, the airline excels in passenger experience.
Huh. That's
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. It added that the airline's most standout feature is its generous seat width at 17.5 inches in economy class, giving you more room to relax on long-haul flights.
Well, I wonder what the other ones are.
What, like the next top? Well, here, like I can give you...
No, like their seat. I meant the seat width. They're 17.54. What's below that? Like, what's the difference,
Oh, sure. Yeah, like what would like Southwest have or something,
yeah,
like just to compare.
Egregiously smaller, like 12. I'm like,
I mean, Jesus, probably. So this is kind of cool. So Bounce also noted that the airline provides passengers with in-flight meditation playlists to help them relax as an added bonus. I love that. I've seen that on some other flights outside of Singapore and stuff. Because we haven't been on Singapore yet. I want to one day.
I want to watch movies.
Yeah, but like meditation music, calming music, whatever. That's becoming more common. To close it out, the top three, in case anyone was curious, the following closely behind is Korean Air, which received an impressive stress-free score of 8.82 out of 10. Korean Air is another strong contender for nervous flyers. The airline provides one of the most generous economy seat pitches at 32.5 inches, meaning more legroom than its competitors. Competitors. That's not a word. Like Cathay Pacific. Did I say that right? Cathay?
Oh, that's Irish, I think. Oh, no, I know.
No.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, Cathay Pacific goes to Ireland. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, has 32 inches, and Japan Airline. Yeah. And then rounding out the top three is Cathay Pacific. I really hope I'm saying that right. I don't sound like an idiot, but anyway, has a stress-free score of 8.57. So it doesn't have a dedicated nervous flyer program, but it offers relaxation playlists to help with anxiety.
Is it an Asian airline? Is that Asian? So
or
I don't know, man.
I gotta no.
If it is, that's really top 3 are Asian airlines.
Yeah.
Singapore, Korean, and Cathay, whatever the shit it's called.
Yeah. I feel really silly. I feel like we should know that.
Cathay?
Hong Kong. Flag carrier of Hong Kong.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, all Asian airlines. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
That kind of tracks.
Why would you say that?
Well, I mean, just they're so great. It like in Japan, like, okay, so for example, this is so random, but like I saw my nail lady today for my little manicure, and she literally last night got back from Japan. Basically, the reason I say that is she was just saying that the hospitality, like the people, like there's just this culture of kind of respect.
Japan is very service oriented.
That's what I'm saying. So I just feel like a lot of these airlines, but even like Qantas and stuff, like those
are Australians.
Qantas?
Qantas is Australian, yes.
No.
Yep.
I thought.
Yep.
Oh wait. Okay. So maybe I'm not thinking of Qantas. I'm thinking of
Qantas is 100. Qantas is Australian, and that's the only plane that's never crashed.
I thought that.
Or one of the only.
Oh, it is Australia. Okay. Wait. Shoot. What am I thinking about? I was thinking about the one that goes to like Abu Dhabi and that kind of, or Dubai.
Emirates.
Maybe it's Emirates is what I'm thinking. This wine's going in my head.
Gosh.
All 3 sips of it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Same, but different.
Same, but different. Yeah, they're going for us. They're going that way.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, no, that's why I say that because I just there's just that customer service is like top notch. But actually, we've flown like I feel like Turkish has been really good. I've had great experiences on like Turkish Air. Yeah, they were really, really nice. Yeah, I don't know. We've had some.
I liked Lufthansa. Lufthansa was great. They're German, so I mean, it's like.
I mean, it's a little sterile, but yeah, I'd be curious if people would agree with us on that. Actually, write us, DM us about
Austrian
that. I'm
Air
really
was great.
Curious. Yes, yeah, they're great too. I'm trying to think.
I flew Norwegian Air once.
You know what's sublime? Which one?
Norwegian.
Yeah,
that was good.
Ryanair. Couldn't sense that sarcasm.
I actually didn't mind Ryanair. I've flown them a few times. Whatever.
It's been okay. I mean,
if you don't expect a lot, it's great. But if you expect like this amazing experience, like what are you
don't
doing,
expect
idiot?
To not have hidden fees. Yeah,
it's just
oh my god,
you don't fly Ryan for the perks.
This is such a
so stupid
joke. Anyway,
I feel like people that fly Ryanair, they're just like expecting to have a run of the mill. It's like going to McDonald's thinking you're going to get a 3-star Michelin experience. Like, no, you're at McDonald's. It's not 3-star. Like,
please be realistic
that's like
about
flying
that.
Ryanair.
Yeah. Anyway, I was kidding, but yeah. So that's kind of. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. Also, speaking of staying with our air travel thing for a second. So I'm personally very excited about this. I've brought this up to you with one of these airlines, but American Airlines recently announced plans to add service from the U.S. to Venice and Naples, to increasingly popular destinations. So people are getting super excited for that. So United announced a new flight to Sicily for next summer, which I think that's actually supposed to be 2025. So 4 of the 7 new European routes Delta recently announced will also go to Italy next summer, including new services to Naples, Rome, Milan, and Catania. Though American Airlines previously announced 1 new route to Italy, Miami to Rome, it's not stopping there. The 2 new American Airlines Italy routes are Chicago O'Hare to Naples. Okay, here's what I was thinking. Starting May 6th. And Dallas Fort Worth to Venice Marco Polo. I did not think it was that big. Like big enough to kind of, I don't know, like handle an international flight like that.
Funny name.
That's interesting. Venice Marco Polo.
Marco Polo.
Yeah, right. That's starting on June 5th.
You think like the air traffic controller's like, Marco. And the plane's
and
like,
then the
Polo.
You're so dumb. Oh my God.
I would totally do that.
That's
just get out and be like, Marco.
Yeah, you as a pilot. Oh, do you want to tell listeners a little fun fact about you?
I can fly planes.
Okay, well, that's a damn stretch.
I can.
I mean, you have what?
I've done lessons before.
In a plane?
Sure. Sure.
No.
Not since I've known you. They're expensive.
Well, then.
Can afford that.
Okay, hold on. Back up.
In the day.
What?
Yeah, I've done a few lessons in a plane where I'm flying a plane.
What? How have I known you like 7 years and I'm just now learning this? What do you mean?
You never asked?
Also, you didn't know how to fly a plane back then. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I did. I started this journey when I was 16.
My God, I'm kind of embarrassed. I don't know this. Wait, but when we were dating, you were doing...
Yeah, doing that. I didn't do any lessons there.
Things.
But when I was younger, I did a couple lessons, yeah.
In an actual plane?
Sure. Well, yeah.
And like a prop? Like, what are we talking
in the air, flying 10,000 feet, flying a plane.
Yeah, like what type of plane?
It was, just a regular, prop airplane.
Oh my God.
Wow. It's not hard. Fun fact. It's not hard. Not much to hit.
Okay. Yeah. Oh God, it was from The Nanny, the show The Nanny. She was like, what are we going to hit? It's like a deer. We're in the air.
Yeah, you're in the air.
That was funny.
I can hit anything.
Wow, I learned something new about you today. See, you guys?
Just keep growing together.
You never know what you could learn about your husband while recording a podcast. So, back to the topic at hand. It's crazy. There's a lot of demand.
Yeah, there's a lot of demand to go to Italy.
Like going kind of.
You know what they say?
Crazy right now.
There's two kinds of people in the world.
Oh God,
there's Italians and people that wish they were Italian.
Speaking of, I'm gonna drink now.
So I'm Italian.
That is kind of true.
My wife wishes she was Italian. Closest she could get was marrying an Italian.
And you weren't even that at the time that we got married.
I've always been Italian, just undocumented.
Oh, Jesus Lord. Wait, do not finger snap me.
Boom.
Oh my God. Anyway, yeah.
Now I have the documents.
That's kind of true. Well, I should get an award for hanging in there until you got it. I married you not knowing if you were officially going to get it, so yay me. As he shakes his head. Anyway, yeah, so that's really exciting. We were excited. And sorry, I realize I'm talking about like 2 or 3 different airlines here. So yeah, I think the one I was most focused on was these new flights to Sicily specifically. So I think it was more the United flight, and then American has just added some other ones that they didn't have previously. But yeah, so pretty exciting. And we've been wanting to go to Sicily. I mean, that's the funny part, and the irony of him being you're an Italian citizen, but you're Sicilian, is we have yet to go there. So on our list
pretty soon.
Yeah. And just to kind of close this out today, another this very Italy centric topic, but also one that is just a big deal culturally, but also will impact travel to Italy, as if travel to Italy in 2025 has not been impacted already because of the Jubilee. Of course, it's already crazier than usual. But what just happened this week? Yeah, so as of the time of this is going to get released, it was last week. But yep, good old Pope died the day after Easter. I believe it was. Yeah. Yep, so Pope Francis has died. And yeah, so I came across an article that said the papal transition will impact Vatican travel. Of course, how could it not? So yeah, he passed away at 88 years old. And so basically what this is saying is over the coming days and weeks, there will be obviously a flurry of activity at Vatican City.
They announced that his
Saturday. Yes, exactly. So funeral. He's going to be laid to rest, and according to BBC, requested this is kind of a random fun fact. He requested a less elaborate service funeral than his predecessors. So let me sidebar for a second. This is interesting. He reportedly asked for a simple wood coffin and asked that his public viewing be accessible with no raised platform, and instead have his coffin's lid removed for viewing. Mm-hmm. He will later be buried outside the Vatican in the Basilica of St. Mary Major, marking the first time in more than a century that a pope will be buried somewhere else. Interesting. So basically what this is saying, more of an FYI for anyone here listening this is specifically probably in this next week to whatever. But I mean, listen, if you're planning on going to Rome or Vatican City, the one thing that's important to know is it doesn't shut down entirely during that time. obviously, a lot of cities
during what, his funeral or Jubilee?
During the funeral, like this, all of this stuff going on specifically. No, of course, during the Jubilee, it's like,
chaos.
Well, if anything, things are more opened, I think, in some cases. There's like one thing specifically, I can't remember what it was, that's like never typically opened. It's why people are kind of making the pilgrimage there. I'm totally blanking on what it is.
There's some like other building in the Vatican that's going to be open.
I should have looked that up before this. But anyway, So, but basically it says, however, several official areas will likely close during the conclave, the official meeting of about 120 of the world's cardinals in the Sistine Chapel to elect a successor. So as The Guardian explained, these cardinals usually come together 15 to 20 days following the Pope's death for deliberations. This is also just kind of an interesting aside. I didn't quite.
And they just came out with a movie, Conclave, about this.
They did. Yeah. Oh my God, that's right. Mm-hmm. That got like awards, or it was nominated.
It was nominated for Best Picture.
Incredibly good. Yeah, we haven't seen that. We should watch that.
Stanley Tucci.
That's right.
And Ralph Fiennes.
And then, that's who I was thinking of. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, great cast. So during those deliberations, the doors of the chapel will be locked, and the cardinals will then swear an oath of secrecy and cannot make contact with the outside world during the election process. Once the voting is complete, the ballots are burned with either black or white smoke emitting from the chimney. Very famous.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Black smoke signifies an inclusive vote, while white smoke signifies that a new pope has been chosen.
Yeah.
So, again, fun fact, the longest this process took was 5 days back in 1922. Huh. And so, depending on how many, long. I know. Like,
5 days? Ooh.
I mean, well, yeah.
Holy crap.
What are you talking
What are we going to do?
For all 5 of those days? Wow, to be a fly on that wall, huh?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so, but basically the important takeaway here is that means the chapel will be inaccessible to visitors throughout the time frame. So if you were hoping to go there. But again, much of the Vatican will remain open over the next several weeks as travelers and religious pilgrims come to pay respects. Things just to keep in mind. But yeah, that was kind of a big one. It's funny. I didn't, for like a second, I almost didn't think about how, his death could like impact travel there. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, shouldn't be too long. So
that'd be incredible.
I bet it's less than 5 days. So
yeah, I'd be interested. I'm curious to see who they choose and like who's kind of.
I don't even know who's up
for
election.
I
have no freaking clue. Whatever.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. One really cool, just to wrap this up. Have you ever, just quick side story, you've never been with me in Italy or in Rome or anything, seeing the Pope speak, have you?
I've never seen a Pope in person in my life.
Oh, bummer. I've seen 2 different ones twice, different years. So 2017, Easter weekend saw one, and then it was really cool. I got to see one with my parents. That was like our last family trip before they died. And saw him speak in Rome too. That was pretty amazing.
Oh, that's fun.
Highly recommend for this new one, whoever he may be. All right. Was that all we had for today?
I feel like we got a lot done.
I know. Well, it's funny too. There was like a couple of things I was going to bring up, but I was like, we
already talked about a lot.
We dug into some pretty big, very timely, relevant topics today, I think. So hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. As always, if you have any enlightening opinions, thoughts, feelings on anything we talked about today, we would love to hear from you. So DM us at Taste Toast Travel or email us hello@tastetoasttravel.com. Otherwise, we will see you guys in next week's episode.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us and tuning into the Taste Toast Travel podcast. We really appreciate you being here and hope you're enjoying these honest conversations about all things sipping, savoring, and seeing the world. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, we would truly appreciate a rating or review on whatever platform you're tuning in on, so fellow foodies, Epicureans, and travel enthusiasts can enjoy this content too. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a follow at Taste Toast Travel. We'll see you in the next episode.